Yes, sir. All right, let's kill the music. So let's fucking kill. Oh, stop. Sir. Well, we got podcasts to put on.
It's a little noisy outside. They doing something outside the CNN towers here. Straight. We got the blackest one with me, D-Miles. And this is a very special one near and dear to my heart because I got my OG, my man C, Isaiah Thomas, man, the legendary Shutdown, all the things. Isaiah International. Check it out. Thank you. First question we asked you probably come on the show. When you first got to the NBA, what was the first person? What was your like? What was the first like show you like just in the eyes of the player? There was a lot. All of us come back to Chicago and play. So, but I would say the first guy probably was Mochique. Chicago. Yeah. Fellow Chicago. Yeah, we you know, I was my first couple of games, I played well. We opened up against Milwaukee. Quinn Buckner, I actually played against him my first game and did all right my first game. Somebody that you really idolize. Super OG. Yeah, he went to Thornridge. Was undefeated at Thornridge. Didn't lose in high school. Known as one of the greatest teams ever in basketball history. Yeah, and then he goes to Indiana and goes undefeated at Indiana. Sure. High school and college. We don't talk about that. Well, it's like Quinn. In my opinion, Quinn don't get enough respect as a winner. Right. In the model that he established. So that was my first game. So I'm walking out and I'm looking at him like, this can't be a bad night. This is gonna be a bad night. So lucky enough, I did all right that night, and then I had a couple good games, and then we played Philly, and Mochique stepped on the court. And so all my Chicago, my 1-2 between the legs, my crossover, all that, he just sat there and was like, nah, I ain't going for nothing. But no, Mochique was the one that first game woke you up. Yeah, this was the high school. When I was in high school, one of the accomplishments that I had was playing against your coach at St. Joe High School. And one of the biggest things that I always took with me, that after the game he played and he told me he admired how good I played the game. Yeah, man, that was like a compliment. This is Isaiah Thomas, head coach. The history, I know so much about him and so much. Just to play that they beat us. And I think that was his last championship in Illinois. I think that was, let's say, 2000, maybe it was 2009. Right. That was the last championship your coach won. What made you choose St. Joe as a high school coach? That actually was really my last choice, and my mom and my brothers them actually chose it for me, which they did my whole time. I originally wanted to go to Weber or Gordon Tech.
Oh shit! Hang on.
Right. Yeah. Catholic League, my oldest brother, Henry, still has one of the highest scored games in the Catholic League. And so I grew up, he went to St. Philip's. Paul at that time was a high school. Paul was a high school. They had like, they wake so forth and so on. So that was my whole upbringing in terms of following the brother and play. So I remember taking a visit to Weber High School, and I was like, this is where I want to go to school at. And I remember the varsity coach looked at me and he said, you too little, man. You don't be able to play. And I was like, But I think I can play. He's like, nah, I think it's small. So then we tried to go to Gordon Tech. I think there was a Christmas tournament at St. Joseph High School. And my grade school, Resurrection, was playing in it. And, you know, the store came over and introduced himself to
Fireteam, watch
my
behind.
mom, brothers, and everything. And said, that he'd come to school here. And it was far, man. You know, going from the west side of Chicago out to St. Joe, you know, it felt like that trip took us in the park. Today, it felt like it took us 2 hours to get to the
Mother.
my mom, like my brother, well, you know what, I was at St. Joe. I'm not going to focus on this people. That's supposed to cover. So just go to the Lord, you see this program, like, what from that program from it, and you go and stuff. You got a lot of success in this program. It's like a legend. I was fortunate enough to play for 3 coaches
Before she
who all
perished,
had the
Cynthia had
same
her
belief
forces
system.
scan carvings throughout the complex.
My bitty basketball coach,
Can you read?
John Gage,
Not without the
he
transliteration to begin from.
And it was basically free flowing. So what they call positionless basketball now. That's what we were playing back then, and that's how we grew up. You know, we went to the court and said, hey, it's not so the label of positionless basketball, I was playing that way in grade school. Then when I went to high school, this field, or remember they used to call it the passing game. And that's the way he played.
Carvings.
That's what he taught. And then when I went to Indiana,
Drop a LiDAR scanner for us. She can work on a translation later.
You know, pass, move, cut, thing, free flowing. So I never grew up in a system where we had plays. Like I never felt like the only time I called the plays when I got to the NBA. And the only time I ever ran pick and roll is when I got to the NBA. Because most of the time he was passing with second screens, moving without the basketball. So I remember my rookie season, they gave me the playbook. Like, what is this? I had never seen a play.
A sequence shared with the first set.
You go back and you look at any of our
Closing
games that
fast.
you played at Indiana.
Scanner must have
Or
pissed
even
him off
against,
somehow.
you played against my national coaches. They never used the board to draw things up on. They just always talked to you what you had to do out on the floor. So the verbal communication and getting to know the teammates' tendency was really something. Yeah, I feel like
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like I don't understand St. Joe's, but yeah, everybody else, but I mean, I'm getting the other, like, I skin color on the front end, right? So the call, I was supposed to call in Mark. So Mark one, we lived on 2 blocks. Yeah. And it was, so they had Terry
Second wave coming in. Keep up the pressure.
We were all running joint arms like and you know, Ray Meyer the Coach Knight. I never did that. Coach Knight was the house. You know, when you can put it out, I mean, we was dirt full. And, you know, all our visits had to be in the daytime because we didn't have a light. So, and you couldn't tell we got a light. Right? And I never forget one coach team, and I was named this, but
Warrior on the deck.
open up. Now, you say I never patched down my life. Nothing but that. So it's gonna, yeah, it's good. You know, we
signals. Get
We
moving.
jumping up and down, we high-fiving and everything else, and you look out the corner of your eye, and there's this one person ain't moving. You know, and that was my mom. You know, she was
The
like,
exit is sealed by Wayland devices.
now we
A
got
moment,
no
please.
lights. We got, and y'all understand when I say this. We got the jug of water that's sitting in the refrigerator. And it wasn't sugar water, it was just plain water. And that's all we had. That's all we had. And I remember my mom getting up, walking up to the refrigerator, broke up and said, my son, I'm to say. I was like, oh, no. I was like, Mom, and everybody was like, no, you know, a nickname sometimes we call it the old lady, like, you know, he like, no, it's my dear old lady, like, what you doing? Like, nah. So, everybody was off in a separate.
How did they get human tech to work with this door?
Clearly, Wayland-Yutani studied this complex for years, long before you arrived.
You know, he sat down and he walked in, he came in with Wayne and Bree. And I was like, okay, you know, so that's just the tone and there. Oh yeah. You know, he had his jacket on and we sat down and during the whole time that he was recruiting me, he never talked to me.
Keep your eyes on this.
He was talking directly to my mom. And he said, I'll never forget, he said, I'm off you and your son 3 things. He said, A, be a gentleman. B, I'll teach him everything that I know about basketball. And C, he'll get a great education. Me and my brother sitting around, we looked at each other.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And before you know it, you know, my mom was kind of shaking her head and nodding. And you know how most kids that during that period of time, you know, you say, hey, you have press conference, I made my decision. Went to like school, right? My mom called a press conference. Me and her were sitting there. She said, my son has made his decision. He's going to Indiana University. Your mom announced. My mom announced it. I don't know if you heard it. And I wouldn't even start. Still be right. So, you know, that summer I made the Pan Am team, and we hadn't even come to school. I hadn't even graduated from high school yet. So I'm on a Pan Am. We down there practicing. So I'm ready to ask Coach Knight, you know, can I go to graduation, high school graduation?
I fear there are no
What time
passings
y'all
at the
graduate? Graduation at 1 o'clock. I said, okay, well, be back by 7. Because we
Zeno's
got a
got
night
riled
practice.
again.
So I flew to my graduation, graduated, then flew back to go practice for the pandemic. We're in the point where you come in here and what did my mom get myself into? Oh, that was everybody. So that was thing. So Mike Woodson was responsible for recruiting. Yeah. And I was like, you know, after the second practice, I called him over, and you know how we play. I called him over.
Watch behind.
Like, what do we and about this morning, I was like, hey, man, like, you know, like you would tell me the truth, man. Like, tell us the truth. Like, this different than the way you describe it. He's like, no, it's down right. And eventually it was. freedom to and he's like, no, you're gonna be in school every day. These are your classes. And by the way, somebody gonna be checking you in class. If you're not in class, then that's your and so those things tremendously. And
Clear. Get
I look
moving,
back
people.
and I just say I'm so lucky and fortunate that
What
I
was Cynthia doing down here?
had a coach and Coach Peterson
In her
had
final
a
moments, she suggested there was an
They weren't trying
existential
to
threat
break
to
you.
humanity
They
here.
weren't trying to hang out with me.
One
They
that
was like,
synthetics
look,
were
this is what you gotta
perhaps
do.
better
You
suited
gotta
to
get
deal
your
with.
person. You gotta go to school. You gotta run.
There is a magnetic anomaly nearby.
How hard
Might you
last night
investigate?
was on y'all? What relief did you get after you won?
Fine. Last one. Then we focus on the
Like
big anomaly.
as a team, I know about the running. You on your ass. Just on you every day. You know, you
What
always want that reward
is
at the end.
this?
Yeah. So look, the team like, yeah, y'all fun.
It's got an ass load of carbon.
Yeah.
Get scanning, Fireteam.
Well, I mean, like Q plays for me,
jars.
you know, in New York.
I have logged a number of characters.
He knows the kind of
We still
folks
require
that
a
I
key
was.
to
So
translate them.
when I say this, you'll
Eyes up.
understand. You know, to have great freedom, you also have this institutional self. What Coach allowed us was great freedom. Now think about this when I say this. We had no plays. We had no under or side out of bounds plays. And the people who played, like my high school coach, y'all had a fucking offense too. So the adjustment to shut down, to know where the person's going to, you know where it's going to go, but it's hard to guard a person with that, you know, so the freedom that coach allowed us, it made
The jars.
self-discipline.
That's what the pathogen came stored in.
Hard to learn.
The experiments we ran, the mutations, all from those.
Making that fast play.
There's
Right,
so
or
few.
how to resist taking that bad shot.
Empty.
Now,
Where are the rest?
Come to the bench playing. You remember me saying this, right? You would sit down and you would say, "Can you make a shot right
We
now?"
seem to have entered a
You
different
down
section.
two? You down two? It's like 2 minutes to go. We need a bucket. It's like, hey, can you make a shot right now? Right? And if you say yeah,
Nino spitters.
it's like, all right,
Keep
now,
moving.
right to you. And you better make the shot, right? But by the way, if you can't make the shot, we sit in the oven, right? And Coach Jack switches to go, can you make a shot right now? Make a shot. No, I can't make a shot right now. So then he looked at me and he called me Pee-wee. He's like, Pee-wee, can you make a shot? I said, I can't make a shot, but I think if I get back, I can move this layup. And so it's like, okay, well, we're going to run the shot clock down. We're going to run the clock down to action. And then I want to, clear out and, you try to beat your man to the basket. And that's how he coached. So the confidence that he instilled requires you to have great self-discipline. So,
Oh shit! Oh shit!
playing that I had, they gave you great freedom, but it also made you
Esther, what are the big intestinal tracts?
be in shape, like you say, Coach Knight.
Insufficient data to speculate.
In practice, never ran a sprint.
It's alien. We can't make any
We
assumptions.
practice 145 every day on the nose. And now every drill and everything was intense, right? Now, if you got fatigued or tired during practice, then you make some work on your arm because, but that's
The far platform.
that's how it's gonna play.
There's wayland equipment around it.
One championship go to the side to go to.
These pendejos down.
Was it a possibility with somebody else? Did you want to go to somebody else? Like, come on, yeah. I mean, because growing up in Chicago, Detroit said,
The door
right?
had sealed.
I mean, it's like,
Perhaps examine the object
Green Bay
ahead.
Packers, the Detroit Lions. The Packers game, Green Bay stuff. Oh, yeah, I mean, the Trump very fast on me. So I'm like, hey, so Mark and I don't know if this has ever happened here in the draft, where two kids grew up in the same neighborhood and they wanted to
Wayland
draft.
Yutani has interfaced with a
We both
non-human
go to Chicago.
instrumentality.
Chicago had
Good control the doors.
draft that year.
Fireteam, rig a connection for Esther.
Check this out.
Let's try it. Let's try it. Every interview I got to sabotage. I sabotage every interview. I remember I went to Dallas, and Dallas had the number one pick, and Dick Motta was the coach, and I watched him coach the Chicago Bulls, and I remember him asking me, "Who do you think the best player in the draft is?" I said, "Oh, Mark, why?" You know, Mark's the best player in the draft because at that time he was. You know.
And you go ahead and hit it. All right, I'm going for it.
Accessing the Wayland Yutani translation matrix.
And he said, you know, do you
There is a
play
remarkable
here for
amount
Peter
of data
Dallas?
here. Stand
I said,
by.
no, I don't think I would fit your system because your system is geared toward forward, you know, Bob, Jack Walker, you know, forward. You're not going to be a guard that comes down. That's not the way that's the way I play them. So he got mad, and I was happy that he got mad. You know, I mean, I don't know what it was. I'm doing everything I can to slime to number 4. Yes, Detroit had 2, New Jersey had 3, Chicago had 4. So
I don't recognize this horse.
Play here, so I remember I said that Jack McCloskey will like. Jack McCloskey was asking. And finally,
I
at the
believe
end,
I have found the transliteration key.
I know what you're doing.
Stand by.
But I'm gonna draft here, number 2, you there. And you're gonna love it. I was like, thank you. So we walked out, Will Robinson walks in. Will goes, I forget, Tim, if you lucky enough to get to Detroit, say this place will love you like no other. I know you love the Chicago.
The door can be opened from this console, but it requires a series of
He was
commands.
right. Right. That's right.
I am attempting to determine the
Bad boy
requirements.
saying is this label, bad boy saying how rough, tough, my shit, and my personnel, the game, everybody, the teammates said, like, personality, I think, and, you know, we grew up on that. So, the team that is
She knows. And my dad helped me.
you say the team that we got to decide and one thought.
Fucking break, sorry.
Now,
I believe I have it.
to agree within our team.
Esther's got the door. Secure the room.
That allows one to be known, right? You know, we used to say let it be known. And everybody gets to choose at a slice of it. But if you're an individual walking in, then you get all the glory. So I am happier today about the way people think about our team. Because all the people that you just named, you know,
Oh, shit.
6 men coming off the bench, you know, Buddha, Benny, you know, Rob, Tommy. I think so from a team standpoint, how players that played on the championship that still have the name notoriety that all achieve. So I'm talking about so that's how we are and that's how we play. Now it was a league that was toward individuality and we were and I think it's talk about Lambeer the most because Lambeer is think about this. Lambeer won back-to-back championships.
That gravity anomaly is getting
3 or 4
stronger. Let's
championships
see what
in the
Cynthia left for us to
WNBA,
deal with.
but can't get no burn in the NBA
Cynthia's notes contain a term for the builders of this facility.
because
Well, I believe Dr. Honecker finds my
what he was all
conclusions
about in Detroit.
distressing.
He never stepped out
Perhaps I have made an
of
error.
trying to be. He never tried to be individual. He stayed within the team. So now, if he would have been a little bit more selfish, then people in the NBA maybe would look at him differently.
Ha ha.
The success that he's had, that hasn't had an opportunity to coach in the NBA. And so I look at it and I just say, what we stood for and what we still stand for today in terms of team over individuals, that has stood the test of time and is still, how can I say it, is, in my opinion, what the game should be about.
Talk about how, like, we from Chicago, so everybody knows you, seeing you play, everything about you is tough. You know what I'm saying? From stitches in the eye, whatever, just the way you play.
Yeah.
Right? Falling out in the finals, legendary. Like, talk about, like, where we come from and where you come from in particular, because I claim where you come from, the tough and everywhere. So, talk about how that just got you prepared for, not only the NBA or college, life in general, for, coming from the city and coming from where we come from.
I grew up on the west side of Chicago, and the west side of Chicago it's that side of town that the tourists don't talk about. You know what I mean? It's like when people talk about Chicago, it's the south side. And, everything happens on the south side. And the west side is like that place where the expressway runs through, And, we grew up, again, we was dirt poor. And I grew up every single day. My first thought waking up in the morning was, where can I get some food? Like, really, that was my first thought every day. Like, where can I get something to eat? And, I get it on the way to school. I can steal somebody's lunch at school. And then you had to fight on your way to school and on your way back from school. And, the way all of us grew up.
Yo, all
in
requisitions
Chicago,
come with free cornbread.
You
I got a nice
you
little pound in
literally
the
had
back.
to walk out your door, and you had to look across the street and make that decision if that guy who was standing across the street, if he was going to let you walk by, or if it was going to be a fight. And if you didn't guess right on that day, you could die. You could literally die. So your decision-making skills got sharpened, they got honed, and, and if you looked at that guy and you was like, okay, well, I'm across the street, and then he crossed the street too, then you just got to go back the other way. You got to find another way to school.
Definitely knows the warning signs, but going up probably pro.
Yeah, so, and then you have to learn to fight.
Yeah.
So, and I got good at fighting.
Yeah.
And I actually...
You ain't gonna be
here. And I actually started enjoying fighting.
That's the source of the gravity distortions.
And then I remember
we don't know yet what Cynthia's trying to do with it. Who knows what's on that thing or what it can do.
You have to fight.
Get aboard. Shut it down by any means necessary.
I'll never forget. I was standing there and I was getting ready to fight this dude named Jared. He's black belt. I had got my purple and I was fighting. You got to fight to get your black. And he broke out, you bow sensei, and he broke out into the stuff, and he looked at me. I was like, nah. I was like, this guy, like, because you're supposed to hold your punches back and everything. And I was like, nah, this dude gonna hurt me, man. So I remember I took my belt off, and I was like, I don't want the black belt that bad, because. No, because Jerry would have hurt me. He looked like, you look at somebody and you just know, like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Yeah, and I was like, and I knew I couldn't beat him. Right. So I was like, nah, I'm not done. But, fighting and just trying to get food. And then when you put that into playing, whenever I played, I just played with a certain amount of hunger and intensity. Like, hey, I want to win. That was just in me. That was just the way I played and the way I competed. I sit here today and I look at some of them guys and they still mad at me 30 years later, and I'm like, damn, man, we was just just a game. Why you still mad? I don't know. It's like I don't understand. Like
why are you so angry? Because all we was doing was play. I mean, you was playing, I was playing, you was competing, I was competing. Why are you still mad? Like,
This is what it was.
yeah. So
Speak about how special was it for? Because I know how tight. I mean, you know, me, I got to see up close and personal plans for you and Big Homie. How special was that for you and Mark to have him be able to come join that? Like, say, y'all go way back, we're up 2 blocks from each other, and I know how tight the bond is. So for him to be able to come there and win a chip too, would be a part of that, and y'all be together. How dope is that?
we never would have won a championship if Mark McGuire don't come out. And Mark McGuire and Mark McGuire basically enjoyed a Hall of Fame career to be a champion. Now I'm saying that because when Mark McGuire was with the Dallas Mavericks, averaging 26, 27 points a night, All-Star game every year, going to the Western Conference Finals every year, taking the Lakers to 6-7 games, losing, right? That was Mark McGuire and the Dallas Mavericks. Mark McGuire wanted to win a championship. He joins us in Detroit. When he comes over to Detroit, he looks at Dennis Rodman and he goes, this dude can do some things that I can't do.
Fireteam, this
And
is a
he'll help us
rescue
win
mission.
forward.
You're boarding Katanga, a derelict
trade
orbital
was made
refinery. Ingress is via the forward
Hey,
airlock.
Henry,
You'll locate,
you
secure,
wanna
and
accept
evac Dr.
less than-
Tim
less than
Honecker,
minutes.
a Wayland-Yutani
And
scientist.
Rodman
So mount up, people.
was, Dennis Rodman. He was coming, so he was coming. And so when Mark came, he looked at Rodman and he was like, I don't need to play 40 minutes tonight. I'm good playing 20, 22 minutes tonight, and I'll share, keyword share, I'll share the other time with Rodman. Well, that's when we took off. That's when we started dominating because Rodman, defensively, rebounding wise, he was doing stuff that nobody had seen before. Now, if Mark was a selfish player, Mark is saying, no, I got to get my 26, I got to get my 27 points, I got to get my minutes, so forth and so on. Now, big picture, right? Mark not being awarded for being an NBA champion. Back-to-back NBA champion. Yeah. Mark McGuire would have been rewarded on the Hall of Fame stage had he stayed in Dallas and averaged 27 points and lost in the Western Conference Finals every year.
Fireteam, this is
right?
a rescue
And
mission.
this
You're
is
boarding
the- this is
Katanga,
the
a derelict orbital
cruel
refinery.
sacrifices
Ingress is
of
via the
winning
forward airlock.
that sometimes
You'll locate,
comes
secure,
along
and
with it.
evac
You
Dr.
have to make
Tim
some
Honecker,
sacrifices, and
a Wayland-Yutani
if Mark don't show up,
scientist. So mount up,
Rodman never
people.
becomes Rodman. We never become the back-to-back champions that we became. And it's not because Mark McGuire came and averaged 27 points. It's because Mark McGuire came and helped one of his
Fireteam,
teammates
this
be
is a
better.
rescue mission. You're boarding
I feel like, of course, crazy. Right? In Illinois.
So was I.
But
I had to give it to him.
but just love basketball.
Fireteam, this is a rescue mission.
y'all take
You're boarding Katanga, a
one of
derelict
those
orbital
underrated
refinery. Ingress is via the forward airlock.
in the league.
You'll locate,
Because,
secure, and evac Dr.
Celtics and
Tim
Lakers,
Honecker, a
Chicago,
Wayland-Yutani
and
scientist.
People just tend
Mount
to
up,
forget
people.
about these 2 championships at the roughest time possible. You know, in them 80s years.
Well, we represented the league did not want to see. And what I mean by that is we were the team that was rising, but we was also the team that was talking about race, class, and gender. So not only did we have a sports and basketball agenda, but we also had a political agenda along with our own. So when you started having those conversations and talking about stereotypes, race, class, and then at that time I was vice president of the union, then became president of the union. So the Pistons, when you look back through history, we were the first team to change the color of our uniform because there was only one color of jersey. We started wearing the silver and black, and we made the connection with the Raiders. So we started showing up in silver and black, warm-up. They were warm-up shirts, but there was no such thing as a warm-up shirt back then. Yeah. Then we played with, our label, so to speak. So instead of it being the Pistons, we took the scroll of Hawthorne and put it on basketball. So we started doing different things with the logo, and then we upgraded the hotels. Now we're not staying in 3-star hotels no more. We're gonna stay in 5-star hotels, which forced the league now to say to the other teams, those other owners, okay, well, we got to upgrade the living conditions. Sure. Now I know what I'm doing in terms of being in the union and how this is going to affect, right? So benefits, hotels, travel. We were the first team to have our own team plane. We called it Round Ball 1. So instead of us going to the airports, we started charter. Then we started staying in better hotels. Then we messing with, our uniforms. Now the NBA followed all of that. They like to say that, and this is no knock on the Celtics or the Lakers. I'm just spitting facts. Yeah. And you can always go back and research to see what I'm saying is true. So when you look at the highest rated games of the 80s, Pistons versus Lakers.
First, we need a deck plan.
Pistons
Full alpha
versus
terminal and
Celtics.
chlorine extraction.
Pistons versus Bulls. Now all those things have one thing in common, and that's the Detroit Pistons.
Just
now
emergency lights.
those teams played against each other too.
Power after we grab Honecker.
Okay. But those were the highest rated games. And
the console,
when you talk about where the league moved from in 85
Give me a second.
to 90 in terms of the growth of the
Got
league,
a deck plan. Backup generator is beyond
you
Honecker's
can look
ping.
at
We can kick it
the
after we grab it.
merchandise that the Pistons were
Our
selling.
men should be in the junction
You
ahead.
can look at the crowds that we were drawing.
Honecker, this is the Colonial
in the
Marines.
TV
You
ratings.
hearing me?
Now, I give the Celtics and the Lakers
Acid damage.
a lot of
Not
respect for what they
encouraging.
did
Continue your sweep.
in the 80s. But there was another team that really helped that curve too.
Should be
And
right
it
here.
just wasn't the Lakers and the Celtics. Yeah. The biggest crowds that watched the
High-speed
basketball
incoming.
game,
Get hot.
those were happening at the Silver Dome in Detroit. So we was putting 60,000 in, 40,000 in, 50,000 in. By the way, those 60, 40, 50,
Way
they
more
won
than I
against the
expected.
Lakers or the Celtics or the Bulls.
Hey, another. See, I was part of one part where where I feel like I can't get changed. Start making us wear suits. It's like people talk about the dress code, and I feel like all of us in place that we feel like it was a direct answer to what we were doing because
Watch the
these
ceiling.
offices
I didn't
and
expect
right
so
here
many.
and all of the niggas and
Hey, on
every
the deck,
time. So
Honecker's PD teaching.
sometimes,
He cut it out. But why?
was you could claim anything as a team, full suit tie. And we was hot, like it was season, man. This nigga, like people had to go get their pockets, go get some suits and all this shit. In New York City, you can't be looking crazy. Man, I'm talking about a suit on that boy. We ain't like the thing that was crazy. It was like, really, we did that year one. The next year, they implemented league wide. Yeah. Like, what? This ain't, the rules that they even put the league on weren't even as firm as ours, so it's like, this don't lie. I can literally remember when I left and went to the Heat, I was like, man, this is the first time in like 4 years I ain't probably wear a full suit, like, for real. I had so many, I was like, crazy, man. But like that was 100%.
Incoming.
Correct effect. Like we did it, and then they did it. Cause they was like, you know, it didn't matter. They was like, look how y'all. Cause that was it. That was the big thing. Yeah, we like y'all look good. Y'all look good. Y'all ready to put together. He's like, y'all don't want to hear this from me. Like, but y'all look good. He's like, y'all think
The whole thing was I remember laughing at him the year before, like, what that some hard time, and then the next year they changed the rules. Yeah, I gotta go to the same person in my order, go to 10 suits and my walkers and all that stuff. One of the questions I wanted to ask you, like, you and Joe Dumars is one of the best 1 and 2 in the history of the game. You see 1 and 2s out there now. You see stuff and play. Love stuff. Game business, Jacob Duff. You know what I'm saying? You see the guys. You see that combination. That was one of the things I loved about the whole you and Joe Dumars. Yeah, you had all them guys that were rough and tough and rebounding and doing all that stuff. You and Joe was like something to others. Speak about the relationship with you and Joe and how y'all got the chemistry to kind of feed off each other. I used to look at the game and look shot. Yeah. Showtime? Oh, it's my time.
So again, to me, I measure everything about can you win and perform and play in the championship, right? And not just play in the championship, but win. Do you have the mentality to walk up in the arena in somebody else's building?
Who wants
You
the
had
gear?
a nerve to snatch that person's heart and punch the game.
Anyone need gear?
And you know, we use punch in the face analogy, but we don't really mean punch in the face, but we mean our mentality,
The exits are
our
sealed
energy
by
is
Honecker,
going to
probably.
make you feel like
Release
we
the
punch you in
locks.
the face. You know how you walk into a restaurant and, or we, let's say we on the court and playing, right? And it could be 10
Anyway,
people that
I'm
walk
thinking
in.
we can track the
You
doctor
like
using
to-
Who wants
station
the gear?
logs.
But there's one guy that show up on the court,
There's a data line just starboard
and
of
we
your
like,
position.
I think we gotta go. Now that dude ain't said nothing, but you feel his vibe, you feel his energy. So we try to put that energy into the home. And Joe and I, when we walk out
already
on
in
the
there.
floor,
Incoming.
we wanted to every single night that we were better than you, offensively and defensively. And by the way, if one of us was in trouble defensively, then we would come and help. You know, it's like we used to always say, okay, we ain't gonna let Jordan get 50 on us. But defense. but at least we had the mentality that, okay, I'm coming to help. Now when I get over there, I may not be able to do nothing. But at least when you turn around and you scored them, you looking at your teammates saying, okay, I ain't got myself. He's scoring right? And that's the way it was now.
Damn big file.
Everybody else,
Hold the room.
you know, our mentality was like, we coming in not to score, we coming in to shut you down. Because if this is what you like to do, we're not gonna let you.
I'll get Esther
You're gonna have to
analyzing
do
that.
something
She's a
else.
battalion synthetic. Keep
And
moving aft.
you're gonna have to do it for a long period of time. And the odds are, if I make you do something for a long period of time that you're not used to doing, and I get to do what I want to do, then I'm gonna beat you. And then you're gonna be mad. But I'm gonna beat you, because I'm not gonna let you do it. And that's the approach that we had coming to the game to play.
The dream team come up, and all my favorite players on this dream team. Yeah, and I'm just as pissed off as you about you not making that dream team. But you didn't make it, and so far we move on, and then make the Hall of Fame. And they announce you the top 50 greatest of all time. That Hall of Fame and that
Incoming.
50
There. Incoming.
top 50 players of the history. What did that mean?
None of us wake up or start playing basketball and say, oh, I'm trying to make the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Or to be one of the top 50
Right.
players.
Right.
You don't even, I mean, that's not even like a thought. Yeah.
That's a whole.
It's not even a hope. It's like, and then when they say you made that, right? And for a little dude like me, I mean, y'all big, right? I walk in the room now and y'all look at me and I look at y'all like, And but being a little dude and then being, you know, honored or selected, you know, it to me it was just mind because I never thought that I would be on that stage or compete when I came in the game of basketball.
Never seen so much
I
acid
really
in one
just
bug. Where
playing,
did these come from?
and the majority of the time I was playing because that's where the food was. It's like, you know, you play for this guy, you know, after the game, nobody, that coach ain't got no money, they play for yeah, so, but you never thought like all the things after, you know, and, you know, when you mentioned like the dream team, did I want to be a part of that?
While Lister
Absolutely,
reviews
yeah.
the data, you can
But
get the power up.
when I wasn't
Dynamo room's
picked,
just ahead.
you know, it was like, okay, it hurt deep, but at the same time, I still rooted for the USA to win, and I watched every game.
Somebody take the gear.
You know? And I was looking at it like, you know, you still fantasizing and still wanting to be, but after a week
Rearming.
went by, I wasn't bitter no more. It's like, if you haven't had that experience, which all of us have had, trying to make a team. Remember they used to write your name, right? You know, and you see if you
Spinning
made
this
the
up is
team.
going to make noise,
And
vibration, heat,
sometimes
whatever
you didn't
bugs
make the
key off,
team.
they'll
It
catch
was
it.
on that second piece of paper.
Yeah.
Well,
Be
that's
ready
how I
for a
look at
fight
the
when
dream
you
team
switch on.
situation. It's like, okay, well, I didn't make the team, but I rooted for everybody who was on the team. Like, I couldn't look at that team and say, I will stop. He shouldn't be on the team. I couldn't do that because he's not.
Okay, don't worry.
No, but I'm saying.
Stop me, I'm wrong now. I'm a adult and I played in the league, so I respect it different. I'm just saying, when it happened, and when we was at the
Yeah, we had our emotions.
wait a minute.
Yeah, we had our emotions.
And Shaq's supposed to be on there.
Yeah,
later. So
yeah.
To the rest of it, but you know.
But again, we had our emotions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those were you mean stop
This thing's
the
been
Hall
idle
of Fame
a long
play.
while.
And I
It's
was
gonna
saying,
take
I got
time
perfect.
to movement.
I want to do the same as I did as a kid.
So I had the privilege of being a little older than, and also had won championship. So while I've been bitter, and been disappointed, it didn't lead me to, you know, I wasn't mad. And then I
That
mentioned
just finished injecting lubricant.
you know, but that to be a part of that team after being out of HIV is weird. That's so weird.
H2 feeds just connected. Getting
I
there.
look back at that and I say, you know, I probably wouldn't have had the fortitude to say, hey, I'm gonna step back and let that
Armored
be.
Zeno coming in.
I was looking at basketball God said,
Check this out.
let Magic have the stage.
Just about to give power to the mains.
You know, and you know, during that period of time, I probably didn't think that way, but now that I'm older, right? Now you look back and say, that moment, while it really good for me, that letting Magic out that shadow, letting Magic be that, what it did for him, and what it did for the basketball community and HIV and everything else. Oh, that was way bigger than Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, so it was like basketball guys have a way of working things out. Instead of saying,
Next,
Magic is
we'll
in
send a
that
follow-up
spot.
engineering
Instead
team
of
to get
being
that
in
mess fixed
spot.
proper.
What's the right thing for the basketball?
Keep heading aft toward the core.
Relationship with Magic, one of the best moments I feel like I had and saw on TV. Y'all need to sit down with the TV. Y'all can't let me. I look at it like this meeting, so like he what? I'm sitting there, I'm looking at y'all, like serious, bro. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but I'm sure anybody that saw it, know what I'm saying, that raw emotion. Like, how was that for you? Just
Got
being
another
able to
swarm
come full
brewing.
circle,
Break out the
get back
heavy
like
shit. This is gonna get spicy.
It was a beautiful moment for me and him. And it just showed you the power of passion, forgiveness. And the lesson that I think that I hope to show the world is that you always have to talk. Whenever there's a third party that'll whisper in somebody's ear, and you don't talk to your friend, then it gets I think the power of us coming together, and he and I didn't truly understand the power of our friendship to the young generation. You didn't, when you want to do this, you're really only thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about what your relationship means to the world. That we weren't in that space. And to have that moment, to be able to walk that.
Pardon me. I have completed my analysis. 2 weeks ago, the mainframe on Deck 41 was accessed. I believe by Dr. Honecker.
Had a chance to sit down and talk. That did me so much good.
Marines, head to the core lift. Big freight elevator goes all the way up the main tower. On your toes, fire team. On the flank.
Any place you went, in any place I go now, that
You see this?
conversation has opened up so many doors. And just not everyone can understand the power of our relationship. And it's like we all hug now, right? I think back in the 80s, men couldn't hug. They, you had to give that still handshake, keep your hug your family members. But so imagine now we hug, kids, whatever, and that was like a big deal. Now you watch the NBA games, before every game, guys like,
Ah!
So that was a big moment, and I'm more happier for him watching him just rise back up, because and Miles, you can appreciate this, to get knocked down at the zenith of your career with a physical injury, or what happened to him. It didn't happen to you with these, where you just like, you wake up one morning and your body is the same, and you ain't not on top of the mountain. So, what the injury
Routing you through the refinery core. Don't say I never take you nowhere.
get back up, and now he's back in his punch. And it's, it's important for me to come here today. Q asked me, like,
Hey, when we reach Honecker, how many pieces do you think he'll be in? I got a pool running.
Change my flight, whatever. But to be able to sit here with both of you and to see what the basketball community is still. Like I said to kids, good job. That's what we're supposed to do, man. So when you talk about brotherhood, the brother is really supposed to be the brother. Like, we're supposed to look out, we're supposed to help. And you look at anything that I've been on or represented or been part of, there is always Chicago people.
I'd say test the echo, but, bugs.
Chicago, Detroit is
Got some
always
big
represented,
internal
because
leaks.
that's where I come
Never a
from.
good sign in
That's what I
space.
represent. And if I don't have Chicago or Detroit around me, then something ain't right. I'm on the spot.
One thing is always like you get that about I talk to somebody that talk about it. I feel like I'm getting enough credit for like when you were as president.
You still good, Marines?
draft.
Ambush.
Right.
We don't find this guy alive,
Some
I'm
new,
gonna kill him.
free agent signings and stuff like that. In my opinion, you got
We got incoming.
sometimes like even in draft, draft of Nate, Ronaldo, Walker, Wilson. What made you get to see those
That's the
people
lift.
that
Entrance
say,
on
I
the
don't
far
care
side.
what they saying or what's being said about them.
Found an
You
aid kit.
saw, and you did what you did.
I always approach that.
Same deal as the generator. Expect little friends to pop out all over when this turns on.
This person plays.
Elevator 17 decks up. It'll take a while to show.
And what is it?
Set up a perimeter, then hit the call button.
It's like, okay, not can he play in the NBA, not like, can this guy perform under pressure? Be in a pressure situation. Can he follow the game plan? Can he execute? Can he win a championship? And if you look at all the players that I've drafted, and some of the players that I've traded for, they're either in the Hall of Fame right now, maybe NBA All-Star. They've been named NBA All-Star. They have won championships. Or been 6 million of the year. So on that team that we had in New York, we had 6 people on that team winning championships. So Malik was on that team winning the NBA championship. David B won the NBA championship. Channing Frye won the NBA championship. Eddie Curry was on the NBA championship too. Jamal was, 6 man of the year grabber. The trophy probably named after 6 Wilson and said is still playing. Everyone that we had at that time, UJ breaking the playoffs once, that's the fourth. And we had all this time.
Here they come. This is a big damn signal.
Sure, growing. And the narrative is short. Matter of fact, first time. You go back and you look at what I actually did whole week after I'm sure somebody else there's somebody else who's on it. I apologize. But it's only the trade that I still today is so I wrote so bad was the Eddie Curry.
Incoming on the left.
Curry trade to me was Eddie Curry was Canada. And Tyson Thomas at that time was, I think it was the second pick in the draft. And I left that tired, but I just said, I got David
Top
and I got
side.
Channing
They're on the
Frye.
column.
So I'm good at power forward. I don't need to have power forward. 3 power forwards at that time that were coming out was Aldridge, Tyler Thomas, Joe Pinto. When I looked at Channing David, I said, okay, these 2 guys are capable. In my opinion, this is my criteria. My criteria is, can you win the championship? Not can you play the NBA and score points next year. Can you win the championship? I looked at David.
Right side.
I said, these 2 guys will have a championship. So I'm good with it. Right? And
Just another minute.
when you look back, history has proven us correct. That Wilson Chandler, Eddie Curry, retired Thomas with them. Versus very reminds me, I did say today, we it's one of those. He played at Indiana State. And my first, I dunked on somebody, just
My boy just did sleep, and I'm crying. So I remember I jumped on it like a head one. This is my first time.
Into the elevator, haul ass, Marines!
He shook my hand after I told him. Don't shake his motherfucking hand. And that's all I hear you say. He just don't know you. I was like,
Okay. We died. We're dead. That's some bullshit. Why did they go for
Get
that?
us back to the airlock. Endeavor, I need a
Why
backup
did
team
they
deployed.
go for that? Oh, I should have left my ass by the. Damn it, man. I'm so pissed.
It ain't tough, so we say we playing a tough game, this, that, first. So,
Wow.
college, Doug, you said, big college grades. He said he'll check you on the screens, all that, doing all of this stuff. So, they come on, RJ, I'm chasing RJ. He hip check me, RJ Curl, get a little layup or something. He called timeout, he going off on the screen. I'm like, man, first I was yelling at the ref. He called the time. He called the timeout. That's for the Z time. I'm like, this is like a pussy. I was like, shit. So I'm standing there, man. He's doing the whole hugging and signing. I'm standing up like this. I'm hot, bro. I'm hot. Same play coming. I'm fighting. Same play coming. RJ coming to do this. Curl on Collins is about to set this thing. Run the ball. Laid his hand down and fell all over the elbow and someone got up. Then I turned and called me a pussy. Like, supposed to the last one. He's like, I don't want to hear that. Don't do this. I'm like, man, I said, he really crazy.
But let's go to the basket. Let's take up 2 points. Every point counts.
Hey, bro,
Every point counts.
That was fucking, I was like, I said, he had me 38 hot. I was around, I say, somebody is about to get up. I said, hey, I'm now trying to dive, now I'm trying to dive my elbow on top of someone. I was like, man, everybody looking at you like,
That's this. Who did you grow up like trying to pack in Canada? Like the guys that you looked at, like all my older brothers. I mean, all my older brothers, and my older brother, Lord Henry, was, one of the best basketball players I ever seen. As a kid growing up.
Ruba!
Ended up getting struck out of the but he was, man, and I just wanted to play like him. I mean, he's somewhat better than him. Yeah, I mean, it was, and he would put on a show every time that he played. And I never forget my other brother, Larry. So I would say, you just can't play. Like, you got to play. Yeah. Like, you got to make them feel it. You got to make them feel it when you play. Yeah. That's what the swag. You don't make them feel it, man. Why we come to watch you play? I go to the playground and watch people play. You got to put on the show. And you got to make them fans like, and so that's the way I always saw it. Yeah, like, hey, you just can't be regular, right? Even when people thought you was fancy, they weren't fan. That was just the swag. I got to play in this NBA where you can be fancy, where you can sit down in front of somebody and really pat it like it's like 10, 15 times between you.
We got to go. And we talk about, like, when we was coming up in this league, man, that coach might have benched us if we did some of the stuff. Some of the shots past him.
That many dribbles you get. Wait, and then somebody to hit you. It's like 7 foot under every time. My second game in the NBA, we beat Milwaukee. I come to Chicago, and Ricky Sobers and Reggie Beers to the guard. Yeah. And I came down
you know, I went through my legs. He so was grabbed me real hard. He said, "No, you can't. We going through your legs and stuff on me." And I said, "Oh, so we at the line, right?" And you know, now he's trying to pump because I ain't say nothing. You know, he grabbed me hard, right? I'm going, and so now I think John Long was on top. He came and stood next to me. Number 4 stood next to me and said, "I know you young, and everything. Just get the lead." You know, he talking smack. And I looked at him. I said, "Hey, I just want you to know you live here in Chicago. See all them people sitting in them stands over there? They're my boys. Say something else to me." We was good. Around this. We was good then. He was like, "Oh, I didn't mean that." I said, "Okay, it was good."
One of the questions I wanted to ask you, like me being 6'9", I always wanted to know how to dribble and dribble the ball. And I used to watch you do this. Between your legs, and like you do this every single day, the spider dribble, all that stuff. You one of the best dribblers in NBA history. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids now that evolved into you or what you do, like who taught you how to dribble the ball the way you do it? Side kept on perfecting and it get even better. Sidebar, like things get like we're out here on the court and you're like here, right now, still can do it.
I was so fortunate to. So when you asked me, told me how to dribble like that, I learned that from Curly Neal and Marcus Haynes. Now, how did I meet Curly Neal and Marcus Haynes? When I was playing at the Martin Luther King Boys Club, one of the coaches there would come around in their body for a bitty basketball coach with John McClendon. John McClendon is a former student of Naismith, and he was also with Abe Saperstein and Mrs. Saperstein at the Globetrotters, who would come give clinics on the west side of Chicago. And I remember Curly. So when you see me like patting it real low and then I'll fall on the ground and get up and then go back, all that comes from Curly and Marcus in terms of how they taught you how to dribble. And the way they taught you how to dribble was like you got to learn how to play the piano. You know, so yeah, you got fingers. Start with your index finger, and you go your middle finger, your ring finger, baby finger, thumb, and before you know it, now you then they call it pat. Now you learn how to pat. And if you can keep that ball low, can't nobody really get it because the angle that defender has to take, if he's not willing to bend his knees, get it out there with you.
Get that ass down.
Yeah, you got to sit down. You got to sit down in the chair, right? And if he's not sit down in the chair, and you see that head lean forward, okay, when that head lean forward, now he's off balance. He can't slide when his head's forward. And so you learn all those cues, and those are the things that I learned in terms of dribbling. So that's how I learned how to dribble. But by the way, I wasn't the only one who learned that. You know, everybody in the neighborhood, you know, because they was coming teaching everyone. It's not like I had like, you know, a private lesson, you know. So now the whole neighborhood on the west side, you know, you learning how to dribble. Now, when you learning how to dribble, now you got to learn how to defend that.
Yeah.
So we always said the guys on the south side, them guys can score. Man. They can shoot it. They got pretty shots. You know, I mean, if you think about all the scores that come out of Chicago, mainly all of them from the south side. I mean, they shoot good, they look good, you know, their hair's fresh and cut, you know. West side, we Tony Allen, Patrick Beverly. You know, we just straight dog because we like what they call the bottoms in here. What they call the bottom, the low end. Okay, stop y'all, all that stuff, you know.
Yeah. Dennis Rodman is one of my favorite players of all time. Like he's a bad boy. And he got one of those starts out. He's like, man, he was just so unique. I don't want to say character to seem like I'm dissing him, but like his character, his personality, just like the way he played, how much he hustled. to see Dennis Rodman come in with the Pistons and to see him have a Hall of Fame career, to see the success he had when, you know, the whole world was adversity. A lot of the stuff that these kids doing of just being free and just wanting to be themselves, it's kind of based off Dennis Rodman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He opened that lane up. Can you speak on, like, Dennis Rodman and like his career and like how proud of you of him to who he become in this game?
When I say I love Rodman, I mean I love him because the free spirit and the beautiful person. I mean, just literally give you the shirt off his back.
Motherfucker.
And watching him grow within the NBA. And if you look
Fire
at
team, this
Rodman
is a
with
rescue
the
mission.
Pistons,
You're boarding
and you look
Katanga,
at
a
Rodman
derelict
with the
orbital
Bulls,
refinery.
you know,
Ingress
he got
is via
turned
the
out.
forward
You know,
airlock.
you know,
You'll
it's like,
locate, secure,
and
and
I
evac
look
Dr.
at that
Tim
Chicago
Honecker, a
situation.
Wayland Yutani scientist. So
While
mount
I
up, people.
admired them winning, it really hurt me that they didn't see that Rodman really crying out for help. And they saw the rebound, defense, and everything else. But what they didn't see is the person that was really suffering and going through it and masking it, you know, by being out on the floor. But you know, when you look at our team, like we embraced all. We had a big tent. That's why, you know, we was drawing like, you know, 60, 70,000 people because you know, it's like everybody can come, you know, no matter what music you listen to, taste, color, whatever. It's like, hey, this is us. This is who we are, you know. And when you talk about exemplifying what love is truly about, Robin at that age, he was that, you know. And so I look at his growth, like you mentioned, the 30 for 30, and how difficult his upbringing was, but yet how diverse it was. I mean, and we all have to learn to, you know, I didn't learn this word until I got into the NBA about code switching, right? And it's like, what you know about code switching? They said, well, you at home you can talk this way, but when you sit down and do an interview, you got to talk this way. So remember the first time you did your NBA interview, you was like, what do you mean? Like, you can't say what I want to say? No, you can't do that. But Rodman was always real. He was always natural. And I admired that about him.
What's the most ridiculous thing that you bought when you got the money? Because you was like, oh, I just paid for this. My mama here, I paid for that. She gonna kick my ass.
It was the Freemans, and I bought me 10 pair of Gators.
I know that Freeman. Yeah, I know that Freeman.
The Gators on our feet. No, the west side, we got Gators over there.
I had a pink pair, I had a white pair, I had a green pair, I had a blue pair, and then I had some pink and white shoes. I had some green. So all the things that you dreamed of, like I never had any clothes. See, I always had to wear my sister's clothes because my brothers, their clothes were too big for me. So I had to wear my sister's clothes. That's why I know you was wearing your sister's clothes too. So you know you learn to button up your blouse on the left hand side, and it's like, cause this clothes that fit is like, hey, you know, I was wearing her black patent leather boots because I had no clothes. Yeah. So all my sister clothes fit, and I couldn't wear my brother's clothes because they was too big. So when I got into the NBA, only clothes that I had.
Going back, real.
Yeah, so I made the Olympic team in 1980, and they gave you those Levi jeans and that vest, and that's all I had. I was wearing that every day, like them jeans, and so when I got into the NBA, man, I went and bought me clothes, shoes, and
Hence why he is the flyest as he is.
another thing, right when I first got my apartment, I didn't know how to pay bills. And I ain't never want my gas or my lights or the phone to get cut off.
So every time I got a bill, I would send the light company an extra $200. Because I was like, I don't never want my lights cut off. It's all never all time. So I remember my girl coming home and she was like, why you got credit on your bills? I was like, hey, I don't never want the lights to go out. I don't never want the gas.
I got an extra dollar to that. Right. Not your top 5 of all time, but your favorite 5. Like, what was your favorite 5 NBA players of all time?
Okay.
They didn't make it back.
So
I'm not saying there's a
Green.
connection, but
Magic, Jordan, Bird. Then I probably throw, Dr. J. They would be good. Yeah.
Point guards out of Chicago, Illinois, Chiefs, Isaiah Thomas, Tim Hardaway. But then you got this kid that came in, his name is Derrick Rose. He's a Chicago. He didn't get drafted. Now he didn't get drafted. And he had a starting this youngest MVP, and he get hurt. It's a CD roll.
We got a ping on Dr. Honecker's personal data transmitter. He's not far in. First, we need a deck plan. Pull one off a terminal and chlorine extraction.
Since we don't like this road and like what
Just emergency lights. And maybe we can kick the backup power after we grab Honecker.
behind y'all.
D Rose is
Patch
out.
into the console. I'll pull it down over wireless.
Yeah, we don't.
Give me a
It's
second.
hard to put in the word what he really means.
I got a deck plan. Backup generator is beyond Honecker's ping. We can kick it after we grab him. Our man should be in the junction ahead.
Every one of us grew up.
Honecker, this is the Colonial Marines. You hearing me? Acid damage. Not encouraging.
With the
Continue your
uniform
sprint.
running out, D Rose got to live all off. Right on. And board.
Should be right here.
It's the business, like you said. Then he became
High
the
speed
MVP
incoming.
of the
Get
league.
hot.
So everything that we wanted, like,
Bring it some,
yeah,
Marines.
he doing it. But not only is he doing it,
Way more than I
he is cool
expected.
nuts. Like he ain't fake. You know what I mean? He ain't like this. He ain't walking by me like, what's up?
Ambush
He
the
walking
rear.
by me like, hey, I do it. So it's still Chicago love. It's not like it ain't like he left home. You know what I mean? It's like me and D Rose, I felt like we were going to piano. Still get a hot dog. You know what I mean? And so for him to be doing that in Chicago, and then
Didn't
be
expect
named
so many.
dunking
on the deck,
and
Honecker's
when
PDT
he
chip.
has that attitude
Cut
where
it
he
out.
just like,
But
I ain't got to
why?
say it, but you know what I'm bringing.
That was what I loved about him. Green wasn't like
Doors
the
welded
trash
shut.
carpet.
Sloppy work.
Everything in
Guess
the
Honecker
field
went this
said
way.
Chicago
Yeah,
vibes.
yeah,
My favorite one. The way I'm company and the way I'm. It's just like I talk so much stuff like that young boy had a creative boy.
I mean that, and
Hey, I got an
and
idea
that
how to
was all.
track down
And then when
Honecker.
he got hurt,
Searching this whole barge would take too long.
I think it hurt all of us that we could reach out to him
Hold
and say,
that thought.
hey,
Incoming.
like, just stop. Just let it. 2 years, 3 years, sit out with us. But that Chicago line is like,
Get eyes on this.
I ain't gonna
See this?
stop. I ain't gonna stop now.
Look at this.
Break it down.
Look at this.
Now, before he went to Detroit, I remember calling him up. And I said to him, same thing that Will Robinson. That good kid. Detroit, bond with him. And the way he loved him. You know, never feel that kind of love again. Chicago,
You
Detroit.
morph. Stay sharp.
Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you, bro. This is the next generation. Came in and to see him trying to persevere. So it's hard to keep into this hard. I can't tell your body what to do no more. So you get down on yourself. You all in there to see him persevere.
And this kid is Chicago tough, something they found, and just look at him, still doing it. in spite of everything. Like, I used to get pissed. People on the internet talking crazy, doing all these idiot memes, talking crap, talking about shoes or whatever gonna be some, like all that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all that. And look, I'm still here, and I'm doing it.
This is how good you road got it in. 2:30, you pull up at the gas station, self-serve, go in, pay, pump the gas, come out, and don't look back.
The exits are sealed. By Honecker, probably.
I'm saying again,
Release
right?
the locks.
2:30 a.m. in
Anyway,
Detroit.
I'm thinking we can track the doctor using
You
station
pull up at the
logs.
gas station, pump it,
There's a
go
data
in
line
and
just
pay.
starboard of your
Stand
position.
by like this, that Negro.
They're already in there.
Any place else?
Like your business, man. She was like, you and Magic Johnson was like super first NBA player that I heard that was really out there spreading your wings. It wasn't just about basketball. Y'all was buying real estate. Y'all was doing this. And to see kids now, they're turning out. But then it was like a stereotype. If you're not doing nothing for basketball, you're not doing the right thing. So can you just speak on just the business? It's big. That's big.
I'll get Esther analyzing that. She's our battalion
So
synthetic. Keep moving aft.
I came up with the thought that basketball wasn't going to be the thing that defined me. Now, I didn't come up with that. That was my family. That was my brothers, my sisters. That was the neighborhood. Like, Junior, you got to be more than just fatter. Like, that's all you do. I mean, everybody. Like, what else you gonna do? What else you gonna give back to this community? And I'm not talking about a basketball story. What you gonna do for the community? How you gonna make this money work for you? How you gonna make this money work for us? You want to go back to your community and you want to make a change. And how to make a change? Slow and that's where I kind of operate. That's where I come. The other thing, how I got started was really, if you look at the sports and
Never run into an acid-spitting morph.
coming out of the
Where did this
NBA,
come from?
my first acquisition was the Toronto Raptors. Co-founder of the
While
Toronto
Lester reviews
Raptors.
the data, you
There
can
were
get
two
the
teams that
power up.
started in
Dynamo
the
room just
Raptors,
ahead.
Vancouver, there's only one international team outside of the United States right now. That's the Toronto Raptors. That was the one that we founded and started. Vancouver failed. Now it's in Memphis. So when you look at the success we've had business-wise,
For Grizzlies, we're in Vancouver.
Walk where they go. I mean, you really see it Chicago, West Side, Detroit. And that was kind of my first business acquisition in terms of going into international business, in terms of the international space. So that's why we
Spinning
call it
this up is
Isaiah
gonna make
International
noise, vibration,
Business
heat,
Worldwide.
whatever bugs
Not
key
just
off,
necessarily
they'll catch
here.
it.
That's
Patching up.
to see them
Be
win a
ready for a fight when you
championship
switch on.
Like think back on like the time when it's all started. Yeah, I'm sure when it be just Jen love to cut the lights on, to see them winning, to see that country winning, the celebration, the happiness. I'm proud of Toronto. Getting that shot.
Unbelievably
This thing's been idle a long while. It's gonna take time
and
to
the vision
movement.
and the dream come true and watching it lived out. And, you know, we probably would have won it earlier had I not left. Because the team that we had in Toronto, again, you talk about positionless basketball, the way we were moving towards playing. So you had Sotomayor at the one, that Camby at the 5. You got McGrady and Christie.
Dynamo just finished injecting lubricant.
Those are your 5. You put that young 5 out. It's a problem. You know, your point guard is perfect in terms of Sotomayor, shoot the 3, breaking down, penetrating. Camby in terms of the role,
H2
man.
feeds just
Big pop,
connected.
pass it.
There.
And then you got Christie, McGrady, and Carr. You got five. So to watch them grow and
Big damn signal here.
still maintain the value and become the champion that they became, It was just beautiful watching it. And then not only
That's about to kick power to the
they take over
mains.
Toronto, but they took over Canada because the Grizzlies left. So, you know, now talking about the Rala, you talk about Canada, you don't talk about one city.
What are your thoughts on Jamal Crawford still not being picked up by anybody? Like, how ridiculous
Nice.
is this?
We'll send a follow-up engineering team to get that mess fixed proper.
Excuse me when I say this, but this is
Heading
where
out toward the core.
the numbers guys got it wrong, and they don't understand the impact of Jamal Crawford because his game speaks for itself, but his personhood. You should want this guy on your team, your locker room, in your locker room.
Got another swarm brewing.
I mean, on
Break
your
out the heavy
coaches.
shit. This is
Somewhere,
gonna get spicy.
Jamal Crawford, not even in basketball, lets me know that there are a lot of NBA officers that don't understand what the essence of the game is about. Not what the papers and the numbers say, but you know the essence in the locker room, right? I mean, you win basketball games on the plane ride, on the bus ride, and in the training. That's where the winning takes place. You know, like Hamilton say, I want to be in a room where it happens. Those are the 3 rooms where it happens. And Jamal Crawford impacts every single one of those rooms that allow people to get out on the floor and feel good about themselves. DQ in New York, Jamal Marbury. I mean, he's so guard dominating. Marbury being from New York, going through a lot of emotional things that he was going through. Like most people in their life, Marbury's the guy. Stand, watching him play.
Pardon me. I have completed my analysis. 2 weeks ago, the mainframe on Deck 41 was accessed. I believe by Dr. Honecker.
And so I'm watching Marbury.
Marines, head to the core lift. Big freight elevator goes all the way up the main tower.
Personally, within his family, you know, his marriage, then his mom, you know, I mean, his dad, then have to deal with, you know, so all of this going on in Jamal, you going through your stuff, you know, because he's dealing with a debt, right? And the NBA wasn't equipped at that time to handle any of that, so we did. And then on top of that, my mother died. You know, not to laugh and make joke of it, but Jamal Crawford, during that period of time, he talked about somebody showing up to practice every day with the same attitude, playing the same way. Then he had Nate doing all his crazy, and Jamal like, come on, Nate. I remember Nate was going off on.
Bro, cuts.
Stop. Like once he get wound up, and you know he was young, right? He just have to keep talking, right? And I remember turned around and I looked at Nate and I was ready to go off on Nate, and Jamal just like moved and stood right in front of Nate, so I couldn't see him.
It was to the point where the bus, the plane, so I made it to the part 2. So back in 06, like, my brother was like, this is way above whatever
Change on
supposed to do. I say the way you held me down, and always, yeah. And everybody knows because, you know, whatever she be talking about, whatever, I know. And what you did with me and my family, I don't need it. Yeah, when my brother passed,
I'm gonna shortcut you through the
I
refinery
say
core.
everything.
You'll get a nice
Just know
view
that
too.
it was above that 9, filthy wet, team where anybody was going to the whole team, like everybody came to the funeral, but
Oh.
about that, the whole support, these athletes. after when I was wide open.
When we reach Honaker, we're gonna have to identify his
Yeah,
blood
like,
by
yo,
his
you
teeth.
gotta chill
And
out,
get a
bro.
pull
Like,
rest.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you fast forward to even when the robberies and stuff was happening in Chicago. Like, yeah, I'm telling you, there's plenty of people playing that hoops,
Somebody
working out at
actually
hoops,
paid
staying,
for
living in
safety rings.
Chicago. Anybody that was
Got
with
some
us,
big
the
internal
Knicks,
leaks.
he
Never a
made
good
sure,
sign in
you
space.
know, how he got our addresses. Then we got text and he telling us like, listen, y'all gonna have unmarked cars at the
You
crib.
there? We don't find this guy alive, I'm gonna kill him.
Situation gets dealt. And literally 2 unmarked cars on the crib.
That's the lift.
Doing
Entrance on the far
walk-arounds
side.
every hour on the hour. We be on the back porch playing dominoes, kissing, playing music. You see a dude, hey, let's just doing my whole walk. Like straight. I'm talking about straight up and down until they called the people that did it. They was there. Yeah. Like, we ain't, like, you know, the whole city, all the hoopers and everybody was on the bus. They all trying to rob NBA players and follow them on and all that. We ain't worried about nothing. So, I want everybody to know how the OG really doesn't matter. Like, not no talk, not no
Same
nothing.
deal as
Like,
the generator.
show and
Expect
proof.
little friends to
And you
pop out
already
all
got my
over when
word.
this turns on.
All right, man. So,
Elevator
wrap up. We
17,
got
deck
it.
Oh
7.
shit!
Take a
See,
while to shoot.
D-Miles, aka nothing like
Set up a perimeter, then hit the call button.
Buddy,
Gun ready.
we got very special sponsors. Tennessee very special, aka with the Knuckleheads edition bottle.
that was really awesome. Oh, I gotta watch that
They
next
are
Rich
right
one.
on
So.
you.
Oh,
Marines.
shit.
Next stop, Honecker. Or his corpse, whatever.
Live on location, Los Angeles, California. But don't worry, it's our visible with Verizon. Right back, you got the talent? No, that's all. Hey, this is a Hall of Fame edition. We got the triangle, yo. We got the Run CMC final piece to be completed. This is Hall of Fame. Fort Lauderdale's finest. Kansas State's finest. We got the Hall of Fame. All right. Mitch Richmond in the field.
Mullen.
Like this. Well, like you know, man, it's a beautiful journey that we're part of, right? Exactly. And then, you know, when I played 16 years, but when I came, some of those guys played 15 years, so that's down and forward. And just, you know, him being Chicago guy, Harris, I watched them almost went to St. John. There's always a connection, right? Scout reports before the game, he can't go left, he can't shoot. But also, overall career,
If you've got a way, is it legal? I mean, if it's illegal, I can have a problem. But if it's legal, I'll need you to file requisition form 1348 or 1348 Mike. You can grab those off ShipNet.
And started changing the NBA, the way the NBA was being played because of your athleticism and your youth. But all along the way, you guys did it the right way. Right? You always had that sense of history. And I feel like you guys, I like when young players come in and they want to do better. That's what it's all about. Really get this, take it a step further. I want to ask you a question about young players. So long ago, actually, go not the when Vince Carter first got to the league, I think y'all played a preseason. Indiana. And he got the ball on the wing. You step out. He swung through the baseline. He like reversed them.
Hey, if
crazy.
you happen to acquire, let me check what I've got in the back channel.
You remember that play? He told us that play like the. Like you seen that? He was like, "Yeah, it's about the time we get on the bottom here." That was the game that changed. I mean, he's a phenomenal athlete, incredible player, great guy. But I've seen that clip several times when they show his dunks. That's one of them. From a coaching standpoint, I didn't give him middle. I set the baseline, and he just went over the top of the basket. Let me give you, look, from a realistic standpoint, I don't give a damn how old you were, what was going on in your period of time in that life. Like, we ain't seen nobody else recreate a highlight like that, period. Like, that was a one-of-one and one and done, none to see. You ain't never seen that dunk again. In game, you got, come on, bro. He went a bucket right on this side, he came all the way up and I ain't gonna say wiped his entire ass. He wiped his entire ass again. Yeah. That was like an updated version of me. Yeah. So like it doesn't matter. Like that was half man, half face.
If you've got a Wayland, okay. Regulations require me to state that the.
That was a hell of a hand. I'm sure we won that game. The first time I felt like that was when I played against Kevin Garnett. Like in my time for no. I was playing 90. I was like, I had enough six, like where 10 years something, that was before you started. But depending on what happened, size, length. I remember playing first half. He came in as a three. That's a three. So I was playing three. I'm maxed out. I'm like, yo, this guy's kicks you off. He goes to get it up. You know, he was young. I was able to headbang. So first, I remember at halftime, I told Rod Higgins, I said, I think that you in the first and the second quarter. He's like 7'3" now, man. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about swag. I used to always love your swag, the way you was on the court. But one of the things I used to love about you was the high top with the fade on the side, like with New York. But like I do Bully from everyone. Yeah, like I try with the fade on the side. Like I'm gonna say what he wants to say. Become your favorite like that. Say what you want to say, buddy. You look like you feel your head telling you get out here. Yeah, the white guy with the hot shot. That's what resonated with us. That's what resonated with us. Like, what the hell? Alright. If you next time you're in New York, okay? It's in Jamaica, Queens. That's where I got my first. So Chris is not going crazy right now. He's Southside Jamaica, Queens. He's going crazy in the back. He's going crazy. And my man Freddie will hook you up. Oh, okay. I get you right. And he's been there since 1984. So when I was in school, I go to the shop. It's still there. That's what's up. Shout out Freddie. in the BK. Yeah. And I got a little, not much, but I still kind of, seeing them. It's my face now. Well, we had a lot of guys on here, and they was, and a lot of guys was from the Dream Team 2. And a lot of guys said Dream Team 2 will kick Dream Team 1 ass. And I don't believe them. I don't want you to think that I believe them now, because I'm definitely Dream Team 1. You're the originators. But tell us about that. Like, think that Dream Team 2 had a chance to beat Dream Team 1? First, you got to tell them who was on Dream Team 2. You don't even remember what Shaq. You don't even know. It was Derek Coleman, Shaq, LJ, Steve Smith, Gary Payton, Kevin Johnson, Jason Kidd. That's a hell of a team. It's a hell of a team. But Born the Tigers on their team, right? There you go. Let me just tell you, we can have LJ, we can have DC, who else? Shaq, though. They all feel like it would have been nothing. No, who was the one that been? They said Shaq was the difference. I mean, it's always hard to compare generations, but the one thing that's for sure is there's only one Dream Team, right? There's only one time you can do it as an original, right? That was the first time. So historically, I played the before with Michael Patrick. We had a heck. We took that team. That was yeah. The last amateur team that we gold medal. 88. Sharunas and the bonus beat us, and then they opened up for Trump. It was a whole. It was groundbreaking. First time that ever happened. But come on, man, we're not going to give that up. Ain't no way. Tell us more about that experience, though. Cause I know y'all was like the biggest thing in life that you're like just seeing the whole
come on, bro. What is going on? Anyway, alright, so let me get my loadout ready. Microburst. Yeah. Grouper. And the M12. Yes, sir. That's kind of a technician program. Molly. Oh. Jesus. crazy, bro. It's crazy. Oh. Wow. That's funny as shit. Hmm. So busted. To the fighters. So busted. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's ridiculous, man. Come on. Oh, fuck yeah, man. Public press. So, I love his response. Public press. Uh, bro. Hold on. That is a dope Doom guy cosplay. Or Doom girl. Was it? I think that's inaccurate. This is an accurate fucking statement, dude. Ah, Jesus. Woke people, man. Fucking stupid. Oh shit. What? I haven't been checking for 17 of them. Let's let that rock for a bit. Yeah. Alright. It is what it is. I will say that. Alright. Gift of fire. Boy. Let's do it.
An alien ship. That's
And
the source
this
of
is
the
my
gravity
boy Mo.
distortions. We don't know yet what Cynthia's trying to do with it. Who knows what's on that
Just
thing
tell us
or
about
what
it.
it
Tell
can
us
do.
about
Get
the
aboard,
college kids
shut
coming
it
in there
down by any
getting
means
that little one
necessary.
game, and then y'all beat the shit out of them for the next week. Like,
Yes, I think for all of us, the fact that it was the first time everyone getting it, no one knew what to expect.
yeah.
Get the call, man, I was late. I was like, I'm in. So I know some guys, you know, let's just play. I'm like, I'm in. I'm playing anyway. I'll be playing basketball anyway. So, but then when they announced the team, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be insane. I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah.
How they kicked it. Michael and Scotty in their prime. You know, Magic and Larry, just icons already, I believe. Yeah, John Stockton, then up and down, Patrick David, talk about just some of the greatest players of all time.
Christian Laettner.
Yeah, at that point though, that you realized that it was about to be what it was about to be, and it was, you know, this was going to be like one of the, they call it the best team ever assembled, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you know prior to that, like when you got the phone call, like how was it when you really got started realizing, like tell me about, okay, I remember watching the documentary. How was it when y'all get to Barcelona and y'all bus can't even move? It's literally just thousands upon thousands. How was that feeling to be on that bus looking out at that? It was almost fun, but it was a steady build-up.
Cynthia's final orders were to prepare
So,
Ashen Zero, the alien ship,
we
for
lost
activation.
you had to qualify. You go qualify. So we had to play
Activated for
Charlie Poker. That was the
Nothing
crowd
good.
there.
Fireteam, get aboard and
We
stop it.
practiced a week in San Diego, and we went to Portland, and you know, busted up those guys. We played well, and we had 2 weeks off before we flew to Barcelona.
Ooh, I like that. Mission time.
Dangerous?
Class.
Only if opened.
CR.
We couldn't dent the casing.
Difficulty. Okay, I like that.
Just amazing. The hotel, and
Incoming.
people out there
What
all night
is
long.
that?
I mean, it was incredible. So I think we played 8 games in Barcelona. So each game
What the fuck
was
were those?
more security.
Guess pathogen
So
mutations of some
we
native
go
life
there.
form.
We left the hotel and we had, you know, motorcycles and a motorcade. We had helicopters above us. They closed the highway.
Those aren't people.
And on the highway, pulling people to the side of the road. One bus went past
Doc,
team were playing.
I really hope there wasn't nobody in
there.
I'm okay. I mean, I
They not so chance anyway, but that was just insult to injury, man. Yeah, that's all right. That's crazy. And you got look, Michael, I mean, it's real. It was amazing to watch like this. When we collaborated, but we became this global, like right before your eyes, in China, in Barcelona, in a big deal. Yeah, that was crazy. And you know, I played with Michael and we played. About I saw a lot. The level of play is, you guys know legendary stories about Michael. I mean, he played golf all day. Just coming some games to dominate. And the one that sticks out is when we played with Coach. Me and Scotty. Yeah, that was about that. Like we saw the last dance documentary, like hear and see how they were talking about it and how the other guys, like what I said, to hear Barkley from those guys, I felt bad because like tell me what that was like. Like you know, we all players go out here to somebody like this. Like have this, like tell me what that was like to see it play out. Well, you know, at that point in time, not only did Michael Hobbs greatest player, but they were the best defensive player.
Clear.
That's what we don't really give my man Irritated credit.
Nearly to the target.
Got down the other side. They could, he and Scotty, they could pick up 94 feet on the ball handler. They could chase you on screens. They could do everything. So that game, it was just a different vibe. Watching that, I didn't know the whole background to that. I really didn't know the whole but there was a different focus, a different energy in a lot of the room. Because we weren't reps. We weren't intense scouting boys. Just make sure we played the game. We didn't want to set a high start. That's how we played. We didn't want to just win for the win the right way, play team basketball. But that night, they were like fighting over who got. Like, no, I got it. That's and he probably ain't never faced that before. He never faced somebody playing like that. Not that lane, strength, quickness, and intensity. Now you, Scotty, I mean, it was like we played a boxing one. He was ball. And so where that first game, Tony was like, all right, man, pull me out, I'm out. I'm done. Like, right, like, basically did here. I mean, those are the five guys. You know, you can see the contrast of all of y'all talking about what they gonna do and how they gonna do it being here. You see Tony's life, like I didn't even know what was going on. I'm just out here to play. I'm excited to play these guys. They're just like, oh. And so you think about it, you know, you got Michael leading the league in scoring, but being able to do that on the defense end. That's why.
Or what?
You know what I mean?
Insufficient data, but at the games past.
And you know, it's not the most athletic, but you get everything right up, play things the right way. Your IQ level was above a lot. Like you think a lot of guys off IQ alone. You know what I'm saying? But we taught you the game to manipulate the game the way you manipulate the game. And also, you kind of were rarity. It was kind of like the real ratchet was on there. Just the super ignorant
Alright, how can we stop this thing? Options, people.
Cynthia's remnants are likely to have a control center.
I felt like my memory, like one of the guys, and he's
Heads up, pathogen critters.
Well, as Darius said, if you're not athletic, then you shoot the ball to, and, when you shoot, you get the same, right? Then you get a ball, all of a sudden, like you slow, but they got to get a ball, you got that. I was fortunate to have an incredible coach that young in fourth grade, a guy named Jack Elise, that was my grade school coach. That was the first guy to introduce
Shut this thing down, Fireteam.
Working on my right hand, dribbling, working my right hand layups, and we would just rest from there, going to the gym by myself. So I was introduced to that. That was taught to me. I didn't know about that. through grade school and high school. My freshman year, I was a point guard. My first year, I was 5'9", 5'10". So it sounds like later. But another blessing was by the time I was 6'4", 6'5". My coach needed to get back with them. I had grown up as a guard. I was a tall guy. He let me play guard, so that was that bad for me. And at St. John's, Coach Charnesecca had coached me in NBA. He had an NBA style. And he was always, if we put in offense or defense, he would always explain not only what we were doing, why we were doing it, where it came from. Very trying to achieve. So I had great coaches. That's where that came from. I think
Patching up.
you guys are athletic, so you see the game a little differently. You know what I mean? As a slower kind of playing under the rim. That's just how I saw the game. Moving on screens, you see my teammates skill as opposed to this.
Oh no! Oh no!
You said it handles and dynamic shot making. Well, that comes from that doesn't have a board. 1, 8, 8, Evan was in the gym. He played outside. All the supplements were outside. So some days just waiting. So that's on the rim. You just drive the ball and try to get that thing in. I think there's lots to do with it.
Who wants the gear?
But the combination of both being well coached and skill development, and then when I was in Manhattan as a freshman, that's when I started playing this Riverside Church, just up in Harlem, Riverside. So I had the combination of kind of skill development and fundamentally sound. Once I got to play in the inner city, I kind of put those two together. And that's where my big time love. I love playing the patch. Going up there with some speculation like was this dude walking in the park, right? He don't belong here. And then by the time the game is over, we're like, oh, okay, we come back. Come to the like Billy O. Billy O.
Tell me about that. Like, you from Green Bay, you play high school ball, man. Hey, you went to Harlem and the Bronx to play. And then, like you said, you the white kid walking up in there in the hood park. Like, how was that for you? Like you say, the satisfaction out of you bust the fuck you go, man. Was it that Billy on the field where it's like, you get out there, you choose something like, how was that for you?
Yeah, like pressure. No pressure. So, like, man, right on. Let you play the ball. And then that's what every day, sometimes every day you're in. So that might be a fluke. In the 70s and 80s, Harlem was a little different than it is now. Now it's back to Renaissance again. But back then, I played with some great player. Kenny Patterson, let me put the ball. Yeah. He was nasty. And he was on my team. Earl Watt. We had a bunch of great plays, but several times when I first started going up there, I would play like 640 after it was getting those on. And 50 would walk into the train station. And then start got back in there. And then about, a few games in, that was kind of hanging up there. And then after a while, I never left. That's like home for me. So, you talk about pressure and, whether it be college, NBA, that was the first time I felt some pressure from what? In a different way, to be accepted, to gain your respect. That's really what we did our whole career, right? To me, the best accomplishment is the respect from your peers and your teammates. Okay, exactly. Summer games, those are things that are voted on, but if you have respect of your opponent and your teammates, that's what that's the biggest thing. Like that, you got respect to your brothers at home. Right.
Synth data received. Analyzing recent pathing.
Yeah, I want to ask you about
That was native life. Big cat with chameleon abilities.
Yeah, like Bucks Funk was not some guy that I used to play in the game and do all that stuff. And he's one of the the first guys to come over here and do his thing. Yeah, success. How was that when Bucks Funk came over and I'm glad you studied, Darius. I think he was the trailblazer. There was other players before him. Obviously, after, but I thought the first guy that came over
to labs in the core.
and had a big-time role on the winning team and like carved out a huge NBA player. Coming back, playing for a little bit, not making it, but Schroeder came over on a really good team. He was highly talented. Yeah, everybody wanted Schroeder. And I mean, you should watch. There's a documentary called The Other Dreams. You should check that out. 1988, Schroeder played for the Russian national. And probably half that team was Lithuania.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So in 92, they gained their independence, and Schroeder put that team together. He was the best player, he was the fundraiser, the leader, and then one of the most amazing stories in sports. In 88, they won the gold from Russia. In 92, they got the independence. But anyway, he was at that time with us. He might have been the strongest guy in the NBA. Seriously,
He was strong.
he had crazy hands. He would go down and not knock the ball. He would go through two hands and just take it from you.
Patching up.
You talked earlier about Scotty and Michael, how great they were. I remember one game, as shooting from those guys looked like Bernard King. As an offensive player, he would punish you. He would punish you. Because he was so strong and just drive, always left.
AKA Curry.
There you go. Hello.
Fire team, get me a view on that hollow.
Scotty.
Watch both ends.
Let me over, man. But one of the nicest guys in the world. I've been over these places several times to visit him. But yeah, to me, he's a trailblazer. He just really exploded until he got to New Jersey. Yeah. But you really feel I thought was a trailblazer for the international players. Yeah. And again, because with respect, the guys respected him. He came over. You know, back then, European players were shooters and they were soft. He was young. Yeah, right. And he was tough as down.
Yeah, I remember when he came up, I just thought he fit in with Dallas so well. Like, he just started playing like 15.
And think about that. So 88, they beat Mitch's team in the gold medal, and we had both of them on our team. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Tell me this, how close is the law work coming on this? How you just say you signed just 9 year deal and people that close to push up and did you ever, in your mind, I know, we all like, I'm just kind of about it, something like, man, well, play with the Knicks prior to signing that, 9 year extension.
Yeah, that's summer. I thought about it. And back then, like I said, we didn't have that rookie scale, so I'm kind of 4-year deal. And back then, to get your create stats, they go right up for 50. So I played on a 4-year deal, but I had to play on a 1-year deal and become free agent. So that was a risk. So I thought about it in conversations. But I took the scenery. I had also gone through some stuff off the court, and really got my life together in the Bay Area. I had a really good support system here. I was happy on the court. Had things figured out off the court. So it was as much a basketball decision as it was a lifestyle decision. I'm still pretty
Played on the train team with Larry Bird and Dodger Day, playing when you play on Larry Bird, you got Mark Jackson over there going to dive and doing his shake, and you got one of the best shooters ever. And Reggie Miller played with it. Y'all are contenders. Y'all definitely contenders. How was that to have Larry Bird as a coach and, to hit me out there and the team themselves playing?
It was awesome, man. That was the most low-maintenance team I ever played on. We had a bunch of vets, and that was by design. Larry was not trying to come in and coach, a rebuilding program. He hand-selected his guys. I knew Larry from the Olympics. And Larry, before he took the patient guy, he was doing some stuff for cells. I remember going in there at the end work. So the patient guy, I saw him at the boss was on, we talked. You know, I always stay in contact with him, and then when he got the job, he gave me a shot. I had a year left on my deal. I was renegotiating here with the Warriors, and he got that job. You know, he gave the small forward, so I was like, yo, I'm all in, man. That's one of my idols. Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, Rick Smith, Antonio Davis, Dale David Harris, Jalen Private, Al Harrington, John Bender. We had a great team, man. So those 3 years, man, we went to 2 conference finals and NBA finals. You know, so big time success. Just a bunch of pros. Sam Perkins, Mark West, and no show up to work.
The exit to the control room has been sealed.
Larry Bird,
Quantum encryption.
as transparent and straightforward as he played. Just kept it real simple. You know, he only have to be on time, you know, share the ball, you know, play hard. Very simple, man. He just kept it the way he played. I think initially everyone was a little intimidated by him. You know what I mean? He was almost too quiet. You know, very well. I remember we got that clip where Reggie made that incredible game-winning shot. He just see it, put that thing. Yeah, stop it. Yeah, that was a cheap play. I can literally tell you exactly where I was when that happened. Let's go, man. Let's go. Oh, I really was. Yeah, I was at Olympic trials for the women with 18, whatever I think you might get. Green Colorado, a lot of the guys there with guys, all Colorado Springs, that's crazy. And I'm telling you, I'm calling all my boys, listen. Rules ain't moving. I'm used to this. Mike is trying to never Mike decided that we gonna automatically get rescored. Like I thought the year they lost to the match, then we came back. And just the place, I was like, it don't matter. We win. They be back and try to be back. You know. Then next said, at the Olympic trials, fools stopping messing me. I'm like, I don't care what nobody say. He pushed Mike and they allowed like Mike almost failed. Skinny ass Reggie Miller ain't about to get no push off on MJ. And he go like that. It wasn't no real foul. I'll never forget that. I remember seeing at the USA Olympic trials. And that happened. He went and
this one is back. Stand by.
Cross check.
Signal's topside. Get
ready.
ready.
We had Game 7 in Chicago. And this guy was attacking Mark Jackson the whole night, so they got it right over now. Yeah, and the best part about that is that championship still got to run to Chicago. Like, I don't like this, but I could see it in the interview, and I was like, I said, just repeats, man. You can't beat that. They are cool. But I don't know nothing about that. You like the full supporter, but you know. They had a drive. From Brooklyn, home of the best 2 rappers ever, Jay-Z and Biggie. Who was the first CD you bought your
How many people did Waylon have in here?
I mean, my place is...
I have reconstructed Cynthia's cipher. Access the upper door, over where you entered.
My teammates across the board. I got from 7. I like it too. Studio 54, classic title. Rock the Bells radio. I'm down with everything, man. But you know, growing up, I remember when I tell you I played for Riverside.
Go, Mark.
Getting the van from the plate. Teammates had box, box, cassettes like that. That's nasty. But you couldn't hear on the radio. And they would make me say, bring it back to my name. Like, dude, what is that? Because it wasn't on the radio yet. You know, in the 70s. But talk about
Biggie and JC. So funny story. DMC. So Donald McDaniels on Run DMC was my classmate at St. John's. And you also know J. Cole's St. John's, right? Yeah, J. Cole. Yeah. We got, Queens got a little history with the rap game, And those are Nas over in Queensbridge.
Whoa.
Yes.
Is this something we can mess with?
Everyone claims that I think it's something,
The controls are locked.
We'll take that off. We'll take that off. Yeah.
Get us to whatever passes for engineering. We'll take out the power. Stop it from lifting off.
One game.
I just want to say, if you could not blow the ship up,
The files for synthetic clovis room.
back in the day,
Vitality.
y'all wouldn't even shoot that bitch threes and
To grow.
Which means
the best you doing it.
Well, that's the biggest change in the game. It's a 3-point shot. The number of shots taken, and then everybody's doing something there. Steph, Dame Lillard, they're on different levels. Like those guys are whole different level. The game itself, the spacing of the 3-point line, where guys break 3 and 4 feet behind it, 3-point lines to space the floor, to be able to drive the lane and things like that. That's the biggest difference in the game of basketball. I think it's better. I still think when it's balanced, and ultimately the quality of the 3-point shot. Generate 50 quality 3-point shots, I say take them all. But there's a fine line between just launching up threes and drawing kick, off them teams to the opponent, transition threes are always good. So finding the balance of both, I still think, don't
Access the control instrumentality.
Shit, fucking Biggie, bro.
sentry deployed.
Biggie, baby.
Sentry deployed.
I can think you with real millionaire shit. That's Cargo. Mark Cargo. Oh, shit. I remember shit. Fuck.
My college career played no shot clock, no support line. That's almost a different sport.
There must be more capacitors.
Without any of that.
Take out those other two.
But also it's a slow pace, probably about three plays to get the shot we wanted. So games change, but to me,
Seeing a blurry return.
you look at
Probably
guys,
soccer.
they can make them, man. They practice them, they make them. The one thing that I see the Warriors play different. They play step beats without the ball. These little moments here that play without it. That cookie cutter offense, where you high pick and roll, and shoot corner threes. That offense puts the defense in the zone, right? You got 2 deep corner threes. You got the high pick and roll. You're basically the defense elbows and boxes. It's all. So finding the push from Kubi, I think the Warriors did a good job of it. San Antonio's always going to be the balance of motion with trying to find your 3-point shots, I guess. But yeah, I think
See any more capacitors?
shit. Your original question, Darius, I love to shoot 15 threes a game.
Far end.
This question I like to ask folks, like you BJ, I'm beginning and stuff like that. You first started to get that bread. I ain't talking about you
Enter
took
the
your
sequence.
exam,
Bold. Protective. Withdraw.
What did Chris Mully do to treat himself? Something that you look back on like got that black shit. I probably should have did that, but it felt damn good at the time that I was to be able to go out there and do it. So I want to hear something good. And what did you treat yourself? I know it was right after you got the good safe up in the plate and everything. And went ahead and had the way. Well, what did
Final capacitor is in the center.
I mean, it took me a while. My first 2 years in the league, I was still living in my family's house. My parents didn't leave. They didn't want to leave. I finally bought a house on our own.
Yeah, look. That was the first year I really. I bought a house, but you know, I needed that. Right. Something needed. That was the first. So I had
Another
two
stalker.
houses.
Keep
It
sharp.
was big for me. Like I had a house up in West Coast and a house in different states. That's balls, man. You know what I mean? That was the hurt, man. Yeah. So yeah, so it was the house. Just to have the space, you know, have a team, you know, like that. So and you know, walk out the backyard, you know, put clothes on you didn't have.
We'll keep a garrison aboard anyway. Things happen live. Just our luck if it heals itself, too.
Backyard a little faster, man. I'm just saying. That's my privacy lies. Yeah, I like that.
All right, man, it's been a wrap, man. We had a great time chopping it up with this legend right here, man. Mother, appreciate you putting up on the
My leg, boy. Woo, man, boy. That was tough, man.
Get eyes on this.
That
Check
was
this.
tough.
Yo. Live on location.
Thank you for not blowing it up. There's so much we could learn here.
And this is a special, man. We got Chicago, PA, legend, and royalty in the field. We got from the South Side, from the Guards, Harvard High School. You can tell two-step.
Yes, sir. We maxed out the class.
Somebody about to get crossed up. What's good, OG?
Okay. Damn, I felt good.
Like, I got cute. I love what y'all doing. Love y'all do all the time, man. Much success to y'all. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Let's get it. Got them 5G towers. We connected, black. Let's get it.
Be so for us in the game so fast.
Yes, sir. All right, we got the max ranked specialist.
Here's everybody who comes from when you first made it to the league. Who was the first person to bust your ass?
Who was the first person that bust my ass? Woo! Man, Kevin Johnson.
JJ.
Oh my God. Oh, Lord. Didn't sleep that night after the game. Definitely gave it to me.
In Phoenix or in Golden State?
No, he was in Phoenix. It was a preseason game.
That's right. Oh, that's good.
This is the beginning of it. You got to show the world when you come here and say, look, this is how it's going to be all season long until you get to where you need to get to.
Yeah.
Stand, the NBA, but I'm going to give it to you every game, and this is how it's going to be. He gave it to me that game. I couldn't wait to see him that next game. Man, I couldn't go to sleep that night. I was like, damn, but he gave it to me. Yeah, he bust my ass, yes.
You went to Carver High School. How was that? How was your years in Carver?
Man, my years in Carver was great, man. I wouldn't change it for the world. I took 2.5 hours of bus rides, trains to get out there. Because that was the best possible for me at that particular time. I had friends out there, I had family out there.
Look, tell anything not on the racks, I can pull out.
And I feel comfortable out there.
So close.
Yeah. Didn't want to go south for sure because they
I'm
went
not big. Anything not on the racks, I can pull out a cargo.
Red South or Riviera. They was in the E division, so go to a team that's going to get recognized each every day, get pressed each and every game. And I was coming out of high school. We got great tradition with Cats and Russell, Jerry Collins. I went to a school with great tradition and great coaching.
Yeah. Also, like. Thing was crazy with me to hear you say you took the train, bus 2 hours to go to the car.
Yeah,
like now, the general public might not know what that is. But I'm gonna let y'all know, Chicago off Gill Gardens is one of the toughest, whatever you want to call it, projects, neighborhoods, whatever. It's like projects. Like I had family that lived in there, bro. I first went there, I was looking like, what is this? Like my half family on block 17, block 20. It's like it's blocks, bro. It's like row houses, blocks. It's like it was crazy.
Yeah.
And so you took 2 hours drives and buses to get out there, and that was your comfort zone. That stayed another thing. That tell you about your toughness on a whole other level to begin with. Like this where I was comfortable.
Yeah, I was comfortable there. You know, I grew up with the L Rookers and the Blackstone Rangers and all them on the south side of Chicago, 75th and exits and Yates and all them. So taking a bus after dealing with them fools, it wasn't up.
Straight up. So when you're coming up, like drip, like I tried to drip, like everybody tried to drip, like I know in the beginning, the start, how did your dribbling start? You just fell in love with like this ball, dribbling this ball is way out.
Well, it started back in grammar school, and I used to dribble basketball to go get milk. Back then, we had to have a note for cigarettes. You know, when you got it.
Don't know about that. You can get cigarettes and stuff that ain't safe. My mama might be sitting in the car. Just pick me up here. She don't want to get out this cold. There you go.
Yeah. I dribbled the ball. I used to dribble the ball back and forth early in the morning, you know, in the afternoon, during the day, whatever. I just used to dribble the basketball up and down the street to the store and back all the time. You know, if I want to be tired, carrying the milk or the grocery, I put it in the other arm and I just walk down the street. But on the way to the parks, you know, guys used to challenge me. They used to say, Tim, Mario, you gonna walk the ball. You gotta walk the ball all the way to the park. So here's the drop. So you walk the ball. That means a lot of people don't know. Walking the ball means putting the ball between your legs.
You don't already know, just go.
And you can't do it on the sidewalks because people was walking and it was cracks. It might be, you know, the sidewalk might be up, down, right. Street. So I was walking ball up and down the street, and I was just cracking, just going back and forth between my legs. And then when a car comes, I move over to the side in between cars and just go back and forth with it until the cars go by. Then I move, I just walk. You know, interrupt all.
It's like, you get the shell guy, you gotta bring it back.
Every block in the wall, it was $1. So, every block I took the wall, it was $1. So your concentration had to be enormous. Really, really sharp. That ball up and down in the streets and not mess up. You know, back then, $1, man, $1. If you walk 3 or 4 blocks, $4 or $5.
Ship. That's the source of the gravity distortions. We don't know yet what Cynthia's trying to do with it. Who knows what's on that thing or what it can do. Get aboard. Shut it down by any means necessary.
Yeah, the rhythm. Like it's a rhythm. It's a rhythm with the ball. Like it's so much a rhythm of the ball. Like I say, some of the stuff like you and I see on time is like much. And the rhythm of y'all, you know, your crossover, it's the best crossover ever. You know, these kids these days, they just cross, but not the legs back, the rhythm of that, they don't know the balance of it. You gotta have balance, you gotta have a lot of stuff, rhythm, everything. And not only and shift. Not only that, no, it was crossing. No, it was carrying. It was a real everything was real fundamental basketball about, but you made it so cold, so just effortless. It was like, what? Like every kid, it wasn't no kid that didn't know how to do film model capability. Even if they was terrible at it, you knew how to do it. And it sounds like you started the beginnings of it walking them blocks like that. That was maybe just effortless for you walking that ball like that. It started like off that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna tell you another thing. The guy taught I was in high school. He said, oh, you can speed the ball up really fast, up and down the court really quick, but you got to have control once you get from that half court line to that 3-point line. You got to get yourself in control to make a move. So if you're controlling and still running fast and speeding up, you're not going to be able to control the basketball. You're not going to be under control with your body. So, yeah, you fall on your face. Exactly. So I tell these kids today, when I teach them, I say, yo, when you running down the court, you dribbling the ball fast, you trying to run a fast break, you got to start chopping your feet right around after that 3/4 court on the other end, and in on your half court, right at the hash mark. You got to start chopping your feet up and get yourself under control. So when you if you want to do crossover, you do crossover. If you want to do an in and out move, you do an in and out move. If you just strictly just want to do a crossover between legs or behind the back, you got to be under control.
Under control.
Oh, unexpected stress.
So that's why I teach the kids now. And you're teaching your kids right. Man, it's a rhythm to basketball. It's a rhythm to dribbling that basketball.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go ahead and call it. Let's go ahead and call it. I think this is a good time. Yeah, that's a good time to stop. Alrighty. Let's call it. See you guys later. Deuces.